little bit of a different backdrop right now. I'm actually at my parents' place. So this is my previous childhood room, which has now turned into my mother's hobby room slash office. So yeah, I'm recording this video for here. I'm here for the holidays, that's why. I feel like we have this sort of understanding, this kind of like unspoken choreograph of how these videos go. From your side, you either grab a drink or grab a snack, sit down, click on my video, pause it in the first frame, take a picture, send it to me, which by the way, I really appreciate. That's really cool. But then also the videos itself have kind of gotten into this sort of script or routine. I sit here, stare at you deep into your soul while I re-emphasize that this is in fact not a weekly vlog. And then I describe what has happened to me over the past however long that has been, which is basically me just rambling out and describing to you the clips that you know you're about to see. And then at a completely random moment, it switches from you seeing my face to actual clips, leaving you in a state where you have to focus both on what I'm saying, which is you recognizing that I'm describing the clips that are still upcoming, and you recognizing the fact that the clips you're just seeing are the ones that I just described to you. And I feel like that's a really good recipe. It's worked for me and how I feel comfortable making these kinds of videos. But in order for that to work, there's a few requirements that need to be met. So for first, stuff needs to happen in my life. I know it's cliche, it's easy to say, but it's the truth. And that's not always the case. In one of the first videos, I said I wanted to make things original for these videos. I don't want to just show you me doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. But the reality of it is, a lot of weeks just look like that. A lot of the time I just do the same stuff. I go to the same job, I eat at the same places, I do the same workouts, and I hang out with the same friends at the same places. And that's fine. Normality and routine is fine, but it just doesn't really make for much content. So that's why over the past few weeks, I didn't really have that much to show, which ties into the second point, which is if I do have things going on, I need to film it. And it's a little counterintuitive for me because I'm not usually the person that will go out and film something. I'm not one of those people that goes to a concert, sits down, grabs their phone and records everything until their arm goes numb. At that point, they switch to the other arm and record the rest of their concert. I'm not that guy. I'm actually explicitly not that guy. I do the opposite. I shame people for doing that. Maybe I'll take like a video here or there just to confirm to people that I was actually there. But I'm not someone who films a bunch, which I understand that as someone who has now started a vlog, that kind of gets in the way of that a little bit, but I'm still trying to navigate how much I can actually be in the moment versus have enough to record that I can actually make these kinds of videos. That's something that I'm gonna have to be navigating over the course of however long I make these videos. Third, and that ties kind of into why I broke the fourth wall at the start just now, is I need to film enough for it to become like a chapter, for me to describe to you like this big thing that I did. Like for example, for It's the Ship, I had so much content that I could just sit down and describe to you in chapters or in happenings, what you were about to see. And a lot of the times when I film, I get like one video, maybe two, and it's like 7 seconds of clips. And when that happens, I don't really want to just sit here and ramble for 30 seconds only to show you a 7-second clip. That's going to be so chaotic. I don't really like that. I don't think it looks that nice if it just switches back and forth all the time. So for this video, I have something a little bit different. Basically, I just have a combination of random short clips that I can't really introduce to you because me introducing them would take about as long as you looking at the actual clips. So instead what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna slap them all together. It's about 4 minutes as opposed to 5, and I'm gonna let you just watch those, and I'll explain a little bit what is happening here and there with little text boxes. That'll be the video for today. So a little bit different, but I do hope you enjoy. Okay, then for book update, since it has been a while since I recorded, a lot has happened also in the story of books. So that's why I'm looking at my notes here. Last time I was just done with Before the Coffee Gets Cold for my individual read, and I had started on Tress of the Emerald Sea. I actually managed to finish that, so we went up from 34% up to 100%. And I told you that after that I was going to start on the Sun Eater Saga. Now the Sun Eater Saga traditionally is a 7-part saga of just the main novels, but I decided that I wanted to really immerse myself into the universe more, so I decided to also include all of the side stories novella collections, which makes this a total of 14 books that I'm going to be reading over the next however long that takes. So far I have started and finished Part 1, The Empire of Silence. It's a good start to the series. It was a bit slow at times, but I understand that it's like setting the scene, getting you acquainted with the characters, and a lot of the things that I actually saw in terms of spoiler-free reviews and people like breaking down the narrative, I agreed with. I feel like I'm reading it the correct way. Following that, I read Part 1.5, as they call it. It's called The Lesser Devil. It was a very short book. It was like 170 pages only compared to the behemoths that are the main series, which are like 500 to 900 pages each. So it was a quick little one in between, and I've since started on Howling Dark, Part 2, Howling Dark. As of right now, I don't have my book here. I think I'm on page like 70 out of 800 something, so it's about a little bit less than 10%. In terms of book club, we finished The Yellow Face by Rebecca Kwong. It was really nice. She writes really well. It's a super fun way of writing, so I'm actually really keen to read more by her. We are going to start on Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. I actually got a little bit overexcited and already started, which I wasn't really supposed to do yet. So as of right now, I'm on about 20% of the book, and I'm waiting for my book club girlies to catch up. In terms of the buddy read, we should be finishing It's Not a Cult by Joey Beatty sometime in the coming week. We are on 78 to 80% right now. So we split it up into 5 parts of 20% each. We should be finishing it this week. Then on top of that, I actually started another book by myself. I know that's my 4th book that I'm reading consecutively, but this one is a self-help book, or something that is a little bit more about learning, and it ties into what I want to talk about after this as well. It is called The Culture Map by Erin Meyer. So far, I've read 2 chapters out of the, I believe, 7. I'm trying to take it slow. I'm doing like 1 chapter a week so that I don't overload my brain and actually have enough time to process everything that I'm reading. So far, it has really helped me see and contextualize some of the things that I've been struggling with since moving to Singapore, which is something that I'll talk about right now. So, culture and cultural differences. The reason that I actually started reading that book, The Culture Map by Erin Meyer, is because I am now in a vastly different part of the world, and I'm interacting with people that have a very different kind of cultural upbringing. And it's something that you don't really notice that much explicitly all the time. It's not like they speak a whole different kind of language, or I'm actively clashing with people in my day-to-day life. But there are certain moments here and there, especially in a business context, where noticing cultural differences can really help you contextualize some of the situations you get put in. Let me give you an example. I so far have read 2 chapters, so bear with me, I don't know everything about this whole culture map yet, but one of the things that I read about is high context versus low context cultures. What I mean by that, or what the book means by that, is a low context culture, something like the Netherlands, is where people are very direct. They, as the book puts it, they say what they mean and they mean what they say. So if I have something to tell you, I will tell you exactly what I have to tell you. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Whereas a culture in Asia, like for example the culture in Singapore, is a bit more high context. What that means is there's a bit more reading between the lines. They say about 60 to 70% of what they actually mean, and the rest you'd have to fill in through context clues. What that means is, in order to really get the full message of something happening in such a high context culture, you have to really pay attention both to everything that you already know or should know and to what is actually being said. For me, that's kind of difficult because I'm not used to that. I wasn't brought up that way. For me, if someone tells me something and it is unclear to me, then that's just it. Either I ask them or I don't understand. And I haven't really been too diligent on that myself because it's something that I've been trying to navigate and get used to. I'm not used to having to ask that many clarifying questions, and it has put me in a situation where I feel annoying or dumb some of the times. But it is also mentioned in the book that the best way for a low context person to navigate a high context culture is to just ask, or to make it explicit. And I feel like that both is a challenge for me and something where I can grow, but it is also something that I can bring as this like unique aspect of me as a person from a different culture to bring into this new business context, because I don't feel like the people that I am interacting with on a day-to-day basis in a business context are very used to that. And another thing is, by nature, I just am a pretty honest and open, and by that nature, confrontational person. And that's something that clashes a little bit here in Singapore as well, because a lot of people here are a bit more held back. There's this whole saving face thing, where if you have some kind of criticism or there's something going on, they're more likely to either take you aside or not tell you straight to your face. And that's just something that is part of the culture here, but it's something that I'm struggling with a lot myself, because it's kind of the perpendicular, or the complete opposite of how I normally interact with people. And it has put me at least in one situation where I confronted someone. They were very taken aback by that happening, because it's not what they're used to. And in the same way, it's also not what I'm used to. But having such a conversation with someone about that helped me learn more about how people here view things, or how people in Singapore view things. And it helped them understand where I came from as well, from a cultural perspective. And I feel that that is a way that teams, especially in a business context, where being clear about your communication can grow towards each other quite a bit. And that's actually a nice thing. So that was also a cool learning experience, not just for me, but also for the people around me. So I think that that's a very interesting thing for me to have now learned, and be in a position where I can apply that over the course of however long I'm now staying in Singapore for the next few years. So that's something that I've been thinking about and wanting to learn more about. And I feel that as I go on and as I stay here in Singapore, I will encounter more and more of these kinds of situations. And when that happens, I'm challenging myself, instead of to feel resistance towards these things and to feel uncomfortable, to instead open myself up to learn more about them. Because moving to the other side of the world, beyond just being in a different context and seeing new things, and you can treat it as like a big holiday, it's also a place, like a situation where you can learn a lot about yourself, about different cultures, about different kinds of people. And I really want to embrace that and make that as much of a part of my experience as possible while I'm here. So that's something that I have been thinking about and have been trying to apply more and more over the past few weeks. Like I said, it's only been like a week or two, but I really think and feel that over the course of the next few months, that's going to become a bigger part of my experience here in Singapore. So if I run into more of these things, I'm sure I'll either bring it up here or apply it in some way, and that will eventually help me learn more and be a more versatile cultural person working on a global scale. So that's really cool. Okay, so there you have it. That's a bit of a different video than what I normally make. It's a bit more clips and a bit less narrative. So I hope that that appeals to some of you. I will probably be making more of these videos here and there, mostly because, as said, I don't always have enough content to make like a whole theme or a whole topic or chapter about something that happens. But I do want to share those clips, because those are usually the things that happen the most in like my day-to-day life, where I can just like shoot something in between really quickly. So if you did like it, let me know, drop a like, drop a comment, whatever. I have two more video ideas that I want to make in the next few weeks or months, however long it takes me to do that. So be on the lookout for that. And then from there, I'll try and be diligent to film enough that I actually can make videos, because I've been slacking a little bit, and I do apologize for that. So thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.